Vikings put 2 offensive linemen on the IR and bring 2 brand new offensive linemen to the team, baby. All right, welcome back to the Onebar and Lupagus show. I am Onebar, and Vikings making some big old news. Like I said, 2 go on the IR, 2 brand new offensive linemen joining the Minnesota Vikings. Before we get into that, remember, subscribe to the channel. Like the videos here every damn day, talking Minnesota Vikings multiple times a day. So if you bleed purple, hit that sub button. Let's get to 8,500 subs. But let's dive right into this. Anybody who was hoping that the Vikings were going to coax Andrew Whitworth out of retirement, or all of a sudden J.C. Treader was going to be showing up on an airplane tomorrow, those dreams are dead. At least for now. We got 2 new offensive linemen. But before we get into that, let's get into the sad news. Austin Schlottman, Brian O'Neill, both placed on IR. Really no surprise. I mean, anytime a coach says significant leg injury at the end of a season, usually means it's probably pretty damn bleak that he's going to be back. So as of now anyways, season-ending injuries for Brian O'Neill, Schlottman. Big old gut punch. We know Garrett Bradbury, there's hope that he comes back, and we know that Blake Brandel is already on the IR for 1 more week. So the offensive line is like Lupagus with his shirt off. It's gross. It's very, very gross. So we're going to talk about 2 guys they did bring in. Let's talk about the first one, Greg Manns. Greg Manns, center, undrafted free agent in 2015 from Toledo. He was signed to the active roster, so he is here. My guess is he's going to be the backup to Chris Reed, assuming that Bradbury is not ready to go. But I'm not writing him off as far as even starting come playoff time. He's going to have almost 2 weeks here with the Vikings before he has to get thrusted into that potential starting spot. So who is he? He came in as an undrafted free agent in 2015. With the Texans in 2016, Nick Martin goes down and Manns actually steps in and starts all 16 games. And he had a pretty damn good season. PFF score is 77.4, gave up 1 sack, 3 penalties, which isn't bad. I mean, this is a dude who was just undrafted from Toledo a year ago. So he plays guard, he plays center. He's going to be our center. He's going to be our backup center. So he was with the Texans for 5-6 years, bounced around from a lot of practice squads, was even traded at one point for a 7th rounder. So he's 30 years old. He's getting to that point in his career where this makes sense. It's a decent move. Again, we've said it in multiple videos before this that fully expect the Vikings to just sign a guy that we've really never heard of. And honestly, I've never heard of him. Doing some research on him, it looks like it's an okay signing for a depth chart or depth piece. We will see. So Greg Manns, welcome to the squad. You are on the active roster. We signed a bigger name, actually, Bobby Evans, to the practice squad. Offensive lineman as well, has played guard, has played right tackle. Bobby Evans, 25 years old. If you follow the draft, this name probably sounds a little bit familiar. He was with the Rams up until just a couple days ago. They released him. He's a former 3rd-round pick in 2019 out of Oklahoma. But his time in the NFL, at least for now, has been not great. He's got the connection with Kevin O'Connell. So Kevin O'Connell was there when he was there. He knows him inside and out. So he must see some potential in him. Still only 25 years old. Practice squatter. Maybe this is a guy they just take a look at and maybe add some much needed depth for the future. But he actually did start 4 games for the Rams this year. Weren't great. I mean, when you look up as far as Bobby Evans getting released, Rams fans were generally pretty happy to see him go. But maybe this is what guys need sometimes, a nice fresh start. Close your ears if you don't want to hear this, if you don't like PFF scores. But his PFF score this year was 29.8, which ranks him dead last. Doesn't matter. He's not going to see the field for the Vikings this year. He's just a piece on the practice squad, or maybe we see him for future years to come. We will see. But Greg Manns, Bobby Evans, those are our new shiny offensive linemen. Again, the bigger news out of all this is that Brian O'Neill is on the IR, is that Austin Schlottman is on the IR. So we will see if they make any more moves. But as of now, our offensive line, I don't see it changing much at all. Like I said, maybe Manns, maybe he impresses in practice. Maybe he gets that playoff start. That would really have to rely heavily on Chris Reed just playing very, very poorly. But Chris Reed, seasoned pro, got thrown in there last week unexpectedly. So hopefully he has a good week of practice, good game against the Bears, and we don't have to worry about that. But for now, our offensive line is Christian Darrisaw, Ezra Cleveland, Chris Reed, Ed Ingram, and Oli Udo at right tackle. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know what you think about Greg Mans. What about Bobby Evans? And how is your confidence level with this offensive line right now?